Welcome again and good afternoon, and this is Rajaa Shindi. I'm also going to go over this question: what do business professionals need to know about software? So far, the previous two videos we talked about hardware and the effect of hardware and the new hardware on competitive advantage. In the previous video we talked about what do we need to know as business professionals. Also in this video we're going to talk about software. Okay, same method. I'll just go ahead and use this interactive way of joining this network and to answer some questions. So these are the questions. Applications are programs that are written to use particular operating system. Okay, so we classify the software applications by its, how these applications are written in a way. So some classified as native, run, or the web application require browser web, or the enterprise application. Okay, and so also not listed here, we can also classify it as a mobile application that require a mobile operating system. So in this particular, that requires a particular operating system, these are the native. We use the term native, classified as native application. Okay, now the web application, let me just go back and explain the others. So web application really runs on the browser, and you need to just to have an internet access and a browser to be able to run this application. The enterprise also runs on a particular, this is a type of application that runs on a particular, but to classify, it's either we classify them as a web or a native or a mobile applications. Okay, I'm going to talk about categorizing and also in this video, but let me just go ahead and discuss these questions. Which of the following statements is true about operating? So operating system, it is the operating system is the main software that it's a system software application that manages the hardware components and everything within the computing device. So the operating system is essential, is the most important system software that to be installed on a computer to be able to manage the tasks. Running tasks is also manage the hardware components and allocate the resources. So which one? There are different statements here that we can choose that's true about operating system. Let's go with the non-mobile client operating system are used on a personal. So the non-server, non-mobile, and there's the typical personal computers require running an operating system such as Microsoft Windows or iOS or Linux, and always run on a desktop computers, but you cannot run the non-mobile application are used to to use on these particular systems. Okay, let's see. Okay, a version of Unix. So we are familiar, maybe you probably heard about Microsoft Windows, maybe also you heard about Microsoft iOS, Android. Okay, but the Linux is an open source, public owned operating system license, and it's a version of Unix. Okay, in other words, yeah, you can download it, install it for free on your device. And iOS, just FYI, iOS operating system is based on Linux operating system. But the answer to this particular question is Linux is a version of Unix that was developed by an open source community, means the license is owned by the public, and you can certainly download, install, or even modify this application if you are a programmer. So here we're talking about specifically mobile operating system that licensed by Google. So one of these obviously is the Android. Okay, Android is a mobile operating system owned by Google company. Okay, the virtualization, it's a process that it actually process to generate or to create a virtual environment on your computing, on your device. And we will talk more about different type of virtualization when we talk about the cloud-based systems, and that's in chapter 6, but it's addressed actually in this chapter. Hosted operating system are called, so it is, we call a virtual, there's a specific term that we use when you install these virtual machines on, so we call them a virtual machine. So what this means, let's say you do have a desktop and it's running Microsoft Windows 11 and you would like to install an Android, or you would like to install a Linux, or you would like any other operating system. So what you need to do, you can certainly do this on a virtual machine. So you use software to create a virtual machine on your machine and install a different operating system to run. And so the answer to this question is machines. Okay. Okay, so this is a scenario here we talk about. So when we install a software or native application on our devices, what are we really getting with that? So here in a scenario, Toby has lost valuable data on his computer over time due to the crashes caused by the viruses. And a powerful antivirus which Toby buys the program and to install. So he will actually be buying the software copyright, code, the patent, or the license, in a situation like this. So he basically would be buying the license. Okay, so in the same thing when you install Microsoft Office application on your devices, you are buying the license, okay, to run the application on your device. And nowadays all these licenses are connected to one user account. You probably noticed that when you download your Microsoft Office, it requires sign in to be able to activate these applications. Okay, so we technically 2D, basically you would actually be buying the software license. Okay. So maybe a couple more questions and for this here, and I'd like to so this is another Melissa is a senior accountant for a consulting firm. Okay, and environment. So this is kind of a scenario. Give you a minute or two to read it, and then we'll go ahead and answer that and understand which one is going to be the application software, network application, connection, operating system, or the system software. Okay. So this type of specific, this is an application, so this is typically for a situation like this. Counting tasks performed manually, process the department automate the task using Melissa's accounting application software. So this is really basically, it is, now we use the term application for this particular scenario. Okay, true, false, last question. Source code. So it's good to talk about source codes. Computer code as written by humans, and you kind of, source code. You know, that's kind of the programming language. It's written by a human and, you know, understandable by a human. These people who are really understand the source code are the programmers, okay? The programmers who are, you know, it's definitely all these programs that we use and applications that we use written by, you know, by human. That's the most powerful components in the iOS, in the IS system. That's why when we talk about the component systems, hardware, software, users, data, procedures, the 5 components, people are the most important, because even all these hardware and software, everything we use, it's really developed and was still and is and continue to be developing by human being. So the answer to this question is true. One more thing I would like to talk about, the categorizing different types. So in the chapter here, he talks about different type of categorizing, major, you know, way to categorize application software. So there's a horizontal market, vertical market, and the one-of-kind application software. So the horizontal market application software provides capability that are in a common across all organizations and industries. Probably, you know, you can probably right away guess, such as Microsoft Office. So it's the same common, the same application. We're not changing the application or customizing anything to be used by any industry. So it can be used by the health industry, education industry, by the manufacturing industry, by any type of business industry. It's the same application. So these type, it's called, we classify them as horizontal market application. Now the vertical market application, it's written, these vertical market application software serves the need of a specific industry. Okay, example for such a program are used for dental offices to schedule appointments and bill patients. So these used to by auto machines to keep track of customer data and customers automatic and more of different type of customized. So this is specific. The vertical application, software application is specific need, okay? But it's not always, you know, it's just we have so many dental offices. They can use the same application, but it's customized to the dental. The same with the auto insurance as an example. It can be used for multiple different auto insurance companies, but it's for that particular reason. Scheduling is the same thing. Sales is the same thing. Ordering, inventory. The last one is one-of-a-kind application software. It is very, very unique and very developed for a specific unique need. The Department of, a perfect example is Internal Revenue Service. Okay, so they developed this. No other organization really, there's no other organization needs it or use it. So this is developed by the IRS for that particular need, and very, you know, you can see minimum number of these applications written for a specific organization and for that particular need. So again, this is a way to categorize different application in this chapter. Okay, now the other topic it really will really address here in this is the web applications. And you say, well, what language would these web developers, anyone can go and build a website, or what terminologies we need to know? So the languages used for the HTML5, the CSS styling, JavaScript, HTML5, and all these kind of a version of the old type of HTML type program still use programming code. This is now also, if you are into that industry, you can also, there's a JavaScript is a script programming languages, so all these programming languages. But nowadays also, and we are going to do an assignment, activity assignment on building a very simple web page using management tools such